I think it's kind of a tradition. It's limited to Bondi Beach, which is, Australia's most famous beach here in Sydney. And to be honest, like it's been a beautiful day, but it's not even that warm. I think they're just doing it to appear on TV, and apparently it's working.
It's working. Grégory, tell us, how did voting go this Saturday?
I went to a polling station this morning. There were still a lot of people voting, even though early voting is allowed here. Actually, this year was a record number of early voting. More than 40% of the voters voted before today for this election. And polls have closed here on the East Coast, where roughly 80% of the Australian population live. But polls are still open in other states in Australia, in South Australia, the Northern Territory, and Western Australia. And it's not to be discounted, actually, because 3 years ago, Western Australia was the decider for this election. Labor did very well 3 years ago, and that's how they got into government. So it's still a bit too early to know how everything will turn out, but polls these last few weeks have clearly indicated that we're looking for a re-election of Labor in government, which is not a small thing, because actually, if Anthony Albanese, the Prime Minister, does win this election tonight, he will be the first Prime Minister in over 25 years to win a second term.
Yeah, domestic issues usually dominate the agenda in Australia, but some voters worried about Donald Trump. Tell us more.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's not as bad as Canada, because so far Donald Trump didn't say he was planning to invade or annex Australia. But yes, of course, especially his commercial policy has created some tension here. Australia is a country that exports massively its product, agriculture, mining, etc., etc. And the position adopted by Donald Trump was kind of detrimental to conservative leader Peter Dutton, who chose to kind of like align himself with Donald Trump, use some of his rhetoric, some of his ideas. And this didn't reassure Australians at all. Just to expand a little bit on how Dutton tried to copy Donald Trump. Well, first, we found out just a few days ago that one of the American president's campaign director actually flew to Australia to give him some advice, to coach him for this campaign. And just last week, at the end of a debate he had with Anthony Albanese, he called the ABC, which is the national public broadcaster, the hate media. Earlier in the campaign, he said he was going to create Department of Government Efficiency, a DOGE, like the one Elon Musk is running. And he said he plans to cut thousands and thousands of public servants' jobs. And this didn't really go well with voters either, because they understood that behind those cuts, there would be less public service, and that ultimately their life would be not as good as it is today. So it was actually a pretty bad bet for Peter Dutton to align himself that much with Donald Trump, because actually Australians are not very fond of him. Actually, a survey conducted just a few weeks ago with a very wide number of people was asking the questions, who do you think is the biggest threat to world peace? And Donald Trump came first in front of Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping.